What up, y'all? It's Connecting the Dots with your host, Kymmy Cocoa, and we have someone special to introduce you to on Connecting the Dots on Innovative Black Station. And we have Caleb.
Hey, what's going on, guys? What's going on? I appreciate you guys got me on the show, so
yes.
I appreciate all the love.
I look forward to everything that he has to bring to the show.
Yes, ma'am.
And you guys have to excuse us if you see a little sparklies on us because it's August and we are in Atlanta.
Yes.
And that's why they call it hot Atlanta.
Right.
But it's gonna cool down. But you know, it's a little warm.
Yes, ma'am.
So anyway, today we're gonna get into a few things. We're gonna put you on game on standing your ground law.
Yes.
We're going to get into the situation with LeBron, which there are several situations that LeBron has been involved in the news lately. We're going to put you on game about the quarterly earnings and how Apple went to $1 trillion. And Coco with Kymmy, we're going to talk about Lee or Cohen. I always say his name wrong, so I got to take my time to say it. Liar.
Yeah.
That's what Dame Dash was saying.
That's the best one.
And then we're going to talk about Jerry Jones.
Yes.
We're going to let Caleb do and Jay Black chime in on the sports talk because, as you all know, I'm an NBA fan and not much else when it comes to
I don't
sports.
blame you on that, especially when it comes to the NFL.
Thank you. So let's get into it.
Okay.
We're going to put you on game on the standing your ground law.
Yeah.
It is crazy. The reason why I wanted to discuss this today is because I was watching the Trayvon Martin story on BET. Have you guys been watching that? Did you watch it?
It was pretty sad.
Not like we say, we know enough about what's going on, but it's good to see it from that. And I did learn a lot about the Trayvon Martin story. For those of you who don't know, though, which I don't know if you live in an igloo in Alaska, but Trayvon Martin was a 17-year-old boy who lived in Florida.
Yeah.
And he went to go get something from the store. He encountered a neighborhood watch person, George Zimmerman, who has also been in the news a lot lately. And allegedly there was an altercation that took place where Trayvon ended up being shot in the heart by said neighborhood watch person. The person got off because of the stand your ground law. And it's been debated ever since then. So we just wanted to get back and give you a little history on what it is, let you know the states that have it, and just, chop it up a little bit about stand your ground.
Yeah.
So what did you find out, or what did you have to say about it?
I just thought, that it was very interesting just seeing how this law, it wasn't implemented until 2006.
Mm-hmm.
So seeing that this is like fairly recent, and then seeing from this time span between 2006 and it's now 2018 and all the deaths that's transpired from this law. And to me personally, just seeing that I think it's over 12 states that have this law. Most of them are in the South.
Right.
And seeing that these states are the same people that possess a lot of guns. Because as you know, just being in Georgia, once you go outside of Atlanta, you're in the South.
Right.
Like, Atlanta is, I get it.
I
that's
say
like
that
the blackest.
all the time.
Yeah, like Atlanta, of course, is like the blackest city in the world. But once you get outside of, I would even say once you go to North Fulton, like Alpharetta, those areas.
Once you pass Cobb,
it gets
even
real.
in Cobb,
it gets real.
because when I first moved here, I tell people this all the time. When I first moved to Atlanta, and when my cousins found out that I was moving there, they were like, "Oh no, I'm never coming to visit you." And it's
afraid.
just because of what the reputation of what the police departments have up there.
There you go.
The stand your ground laws have different variations. Florida was, like you said, they were the first ones to implement this. They implemented it under Jeb Bush, who at that time was the governor. That's the George Bush's son and George Bush Jr.'s brother. Yeah. And since then, like you said, there have been a lot of cases in the news and just in general that have caused a lot of controversy.
Right.
When I watched the Trayvon Martin story, what struck me to my heart and what really, like I said, made me want to see this is when when Trayvon Martin's mother said on the movie, she said, they told me that he wasn't going to get arrested. They weren't going to lock him up, and it was because of something called the stand your ground law. And she said, and I didn't even know what that was.
Yeah.
And that just hit me that we are all living under jurisdiction of these people, and that's why we stress the importance of voting and just knowing the law, because just like my high school driver's ed teacher told me, ignorance of the law is no excuse. If you don't know about it, that does not mean you are not going to be affected by it. So it would behoove you to find out as much about the law in your state and your jurisdiction as possible. Another scenario I'm going to give you about that. In Atlanta, they decriminalized weed in Atlanta. And like I always say, you might think you're in Atlanta, but you're not in Atlanta. Because if you live in, I don't know, Kennesaw,
County,
Marietta,
Peachtree City,
Peachtree City, you don't necessarily have the rules and the laws that go on in Atlanta. So
because
you
technically that's what greater Atlanta.
Exactly, that's the greater Atlanta area, and under certain circumstances that would mean like for traffic, weather, you know what I mean, the radio stations, the TV stations, that area. But the law, no, it don't have nothing to do with the law. So we're gonna try to break this down a little bit and stick with us, and really talk to your kids about this, talk to your neighbors about this, talk to the high school kids about this, because there are different variations of this, and I'm gonna run down the states. So you might want to perk your ears up to see if your state is mentioned on this list.
Very local.
Because these are the states that have passed stand your ground laws in some variation. I'm gonna go through it pretty quick because it's pretty long. And like you said, mostly the South. But guess what? Alaska is on there.
I was surprised by that.
Alabama, Alaska, Arizona, Florida, Georgia, Indiana, Kansas, Kentucky, Louisiana, Michigan, Mississippi, Montana, Nevada, New Hampshire, North Carolina, Oklahoma, Pennsylvania, South Carolina, South Dakota, Tennessee, Texas, Utah, and West Virginia. There are a few places on here where I'm gonna say the population, the ratio of black and white is pretty wide.
Montana, New Hampshire.
Right. But bruh, if you live in Georgia, Mississippi, Alabama, Texas,
Kentucky,
Florida, like you might want to just pay attention. Pay attention to this. Pay attention to this.
I would definitely say Florida because I really, me personally, I only hear about it in Florida.
Yeah,
like,
that's very true.
Even when I Google it and was doing some research on it, when I click news, it had like 4 different Florida cases just from this month or things like that.
Right.
So it's like, man, what are they doing down there?
I'll tell you this though, I think a lot of people have this like common misconception when it comes to Florida because we think of Miami, the beach. But I'll tell you this, because my brother we went to FAMU, and I remember driving down there, even in North Florida, that's like a different state. And you see Confederate flags. Tallahassee, you see Confederate flags. You see country boys. But see, again, when we think of Florida, we always think about Miami, all that stuff. But Florida is a very racist state. It's very racist.
It is very racist.
Exactly. It is.
So is Georgia. So is Alabama.
Major cities.
Disney,
Orlando.
Miami Beach.
Yeah.
Like last time I was in Miami, I actually went outside Miami Beach. So once you get outside, it's
a different story. If you ever just drive from Georgia to Florida,
South Georgia,
on I-85. Recently, my brother passed away, and I had to ride to Jacksonville, Florida, and boy, did it take me on. I mean, when you're on I-85, right before you get to the border, there's a huge Confederate flag meeting you before.
I used to, when I lived in Orlando, like I said, that's Disney. That whole city is basically Disney. But Florida, they don't have sidewalks. Like it's not.
It's very rural, and it's not. But so is Georgia.
Exactly, Georgia's on the same way.
So is Alabama.
It's not the whole state.
It's definitely not.
It's not the whole state.
And so that brings me to, this is my personal opinion, but it's our show, so I get to say what I want.
Most definitely.
But that's why I have a problem when I see people get like Florida tattooed on them.
Because it's the state.
Like,
Georgia.
It's like these are the people that have continued to do you wrong.
But it's the mentality because you got to think of the Florida thing. All Florida is represented. People that's in the hood, they feel like they got to represent their hood.
Right.
Like, why are you representing your hood? You don't own nothing in the hood. You know nothing for it.
That's very true.
It's like a pride thing. I don't understand it, but
we don't understand it because we don't do it. But anyway, so the stand your ground law. There are several things to take into consideration, and this is only the law does not have feelings. The law doesn't have rationale. The time to rationale and have feelings are when the laws are being passed. But once they're passed, that's it. It doesn't have to make sense. So the stand your ground law has different variations. It started in Florida, and like we said, rural. These are people that are voting. This is the mentality of the people that are making up this stuff, and that's why when Jeff Sessions got elected to be the head of the justice, the whatever, I just was like, yo, this old 70-something-year-old man from like Oklahoma, are y'all serious? What do you think his laws are going to be like? Not to say that, you know, I'm stereotyping,
9
but
times out of 10 though.
you know what I mean? Okay, so anyway, let me get back to this thing here. Some states use a blend of self-defense doctrines, but the law generally falls into 3 categories. Okay, stand your ground. No duty to retreat from the situation before resorting to deadly force. Not limited to your property. Okay, so stand your ground. Okay, I'll finish. Okay, castle doctrine. No duty to retreat before using deadly force. Use of deadly force against intruders is legal in most situations, limited to real property such as your home, your yard, office.
That was very, very interesting.
Right, but I think people don't know this. So, and then the duty to retreat from a situation if you feel threatened as a last resort, may not use deadly force if you are safely inside your home. So you hear this, all 3 scenarios, you hear duty to retreat. So what the duty to retreat is, in some states you have a duty to say, okay, I'm mad, I'm scared, but I'm not threatened by this person's not going to kill me, so I'm going to fall back.
Right.
That's your duty to retreat.
Right.
In some states you don't have to do that for you to have considered yourself in
that's
danger, and that's very dangerous.
Yeah.
In Georgia, the castle laws remove the duty to retreat, so you don't have to say that. You know what I mean? And it also means it's one of these here, the stand your ground, no duty to retreat, where you are legally able to be. So, if, for example, if I'm sitting in my car and you come up to me and you like, oh, whatever, okay, I can't shoot you.
Right.
But if you pull a gun out, I can kill you. If I feel threatened, and it doesn't have to be my home, I'm protecting my space where I am legally able to be. This is my car. I'm legally able to be in Kroger.
Right.
So if I'm at Kroger and I say I feel threatened by you and I shoot you, hey, I had the right to do that.
Yeah.
And it was supposed to be so that you can't have a civil lawsuit against the people's family. You know, like O.J. Simpson. California doesn't have it. So the Goldmans got to sue the Simpson estate and take his Heisman trophies and all that stuff and auction them off and get money.
Most definitely.
With that being said, in the state of Georgia, if someone says that they feel threatened and they felt that they needed to use deadly force, that's all they have to say. Now you can't go to court and be like, yo, I was gonna kill him, but the lawyers are gonna coach you to say,
he was threatened.
You gotta just say you felt threatened.
I was in fear for my life.
You were in fear for your life.
Look, that's every time you hear about police brutality.
That's all they say.
They lie.
Hey, that's
fear for my life.
right.
And then
Why
when
you
they
afraid?
say that, it's over with.
That's it.
That's all they have to say.
And then it's
Right.
sad again because you chose this profession and you knew exactly what you signed up for. On top of that, your job is to protect us. So, third, you are a public servant. And I think people always forget that. They are public servants. So why are you afraid of the people that put money inside of your pocket? Like, I find that crazy. And then you have a gun. You have a gun, you have a taser, you got backup. And on top of that, you can get paid leave. So it's like, why are you afraid? I find that absurd. It's crazy. A trained professional. That's the perfect way to put it. A trained professional.
Needless to say that during the Obama administration, we saw this more often than not. Everyone says it's because he sparked up a lot of hatred and racism and just made people, more aware of the fact that black people can succeed. So, what do you do when you want to get in the minds of people that are succeeding? You instill fear into them.
You gotta retaliate.
So, that is just like visual, and it's like, hey, we don't ever want y'all to think y'all are gonna whatever, and so we're gonna just kill y'all and make y'all scare you.
Yep.
And that's what they've been doing for forever and ever and ever. So, needless to say, Donald Trump has poured gas on the fire. When he was running for election, he was like, yo, I stand behind the police. And whatever they decide to do, I'm with it. Mm-hmm. And like the NRA, of course they stand behind it because they want everybody to own a gun. They want you to feel like you're gonna have to have one because you're scared all the time, and so we're gonna buy more guns. I really want to spend a lot of time on this because we could get into like the cases and stuff like that and follow-ups, but I just need everybody that's watching this to review the stand your ground laws in your area and talk to your kids about it. Because I'm from New Jersey and my parents didn't sit me down and be like, yo, don't go to that person's house because if they say you ain't supposed to be there, you get on that porch, they can shoot you. But I've heard people in the South tell that to their children.
It's different. It's different.
So be aware. We're
Yeah.
gonna follow up. I'm sure there are gonna be more cases of this.
Yeah.
And just pay attention and let us know if you want to discuss anything. Leave comments. Don't leave nasty comments, okay? Because I know that there are people that are gonna do that. But anyway,